Hey YouTube, I've been getting the same questions over and over in chat, and today I want to answer them in a more formal way on YouTube because there's clearly interest in it, right? So first question I've been getting, what controller should you use for the game? Or also, what controller do I use? So I use the DualSense Edge. It's a PS5 controller. It has a button on the back. I map this button to drive impact. So this does not do drive impact. This does. It's an okay pad. I honestly, I'm a little hesitant to recommend it because if you've ever used a PS5 pad, the D-pad is a little hard to press in, and so occasionally I'll drop an input. I also don't know a better controller. I've tried a couple other controllers. I haven't liked any of them, but there's also a million controllers out there, so maybe I'll find the one and I can recommend it to you guys. But for now, I'm using this. I like the feel. I really like how the buttons feel. I'm just not a big fan of the D-pad. So what controller should you use? Now, if you're brand new to Street Fighter, use what you have on hand. If you have a PS4 pad, use your PS4 pad. If you only have a keyboard, use your keyboard. First of all, input method doesn't matter as much as you think it does. I think it kind of gets overhyped because manufacturers want to sell you stuff. I mean, people have literally won tournaments, made top 8 in tournaments with steering wheel controllers, Guitar Hero controllers. Use what you have on hand, and if you're really shooting to be the top 1% of Street Fighter players as your journey continues in this game, then you could switch to something more optimal. I personally think a leverless controller is the most optimal. I don't use it because it gives me hand pains, so I value my hand health more than using a slightly more optimal controller. But I also like a pad because I like being able to have a finger over the most important buttons, drive parry and drive impact at all times, which is really hard to do with a traditional stick or leverless controller. Should I play analog? To me, it does. Again, this doesn't matter. There's top players that use analog, there's top players that use D-pad. What button mapping is best? Again, I think it all comes down to comfort. As long as you have something that you can easily press drive impact, I think that's the most important thing. So having drive impact with your natural posture, I think is really important. Other than that, just play whatever you want, honestly. Whatever is more comfortable for you. I use default because the default's perfectly fine. All right, next question. Should I use modern or classic controls? I think there's a few dimensions to this, right? People complain about modern all the time. And I think it's no secret that if you use modern controls, you're going to have advantage at low levels of play because it's just easier to learn and things are easier to execute. So you will learn faster on modern controls. So for that reason, I actually recommend that if you're brand new to any fighting game, you learn modern controls. That being said, at a high level, and if you look at the leaderboards, 99 people out of 100 are using classic controls. So that being said, modern controls at a high level are extremely viable. So take, for example, this guy Solving. He's number 8 on the leaderboards. He's a Master Ryu with a 80% win rate, which is really high. While you don't see too many Master ranks at a high level, I think the reason is because people are like me who have been playing Street Fighter for years are just so used to classic controls that we don't find it worth switching. But as this Solving proves and as other people will prove in the future, I think modern controls are extremely viable, and in certain niche cases might actually be better than classic controls. Okay, I've been getting comments saying my reactions suck, so I'm gonna refund Street Fighter, or do I need good reactions to play Street Fighter? And you kind of do, but they don't have to be crazy, right? Even my reactions aren't amazing, right? So as a pro gamer, I'm considered to have way better reactions than the average person, but it's not true, right? So I'll do the test right now. And 208 milliseconds, right? Which puts me in about the average, right? The important thing is that you have to train your reactions because reacting to something where you're clicking a button is way easier than reacting to 6 different things on the screen, like jump-ins, fireballs, drive impacts. And so it's something that takes a lot of practice to get used to react to everything. Yeah, I don't have super cracked out reaction speed, right? Some people do. There is a difference, but you can play Street Fighter at the highest level, not having insane reactions, right? A couple of things that help are, getting a good monitor, getting a setup where you reduce the lag, making sure that the setting right here, input delay reduction, make sure this is on. You want to reduce the lag as much as possible. You also, if you're playing on PC, you want to turn off VSync. Again, that adds lag. So optimizing your setup goes a long way to making sure you can react to things, right? And other than that, it just takes practice. Certain characters rely on reactions way more than others, right? If I'm playing a character like Kim, who's very motion oriented, they're very I'm gonna make the opponent react. That's gonna be a lot better for someone with not as good reactions, as opposed to a Shoto that has to react to all your anti-airs with DPs and react to all the bull crap that opponents could throw out. So if your reactions really are bad, play a character that doesn't rely on reactions as much. I gotta leave VSync on to see Cammy's ask with no screen tearing. Well, again, it's priorities, right? So if you want to see Cammy's ass with no screen tearing, then don't complain that your reactions suck. That's easy, right? Just realize that you're sacrificing one thing for the other. It's the same thing with combos. I see a lot of people saying, hey, how do I execute combos? I don't know how to execute combos. How do I get better at combos? And a lot of it comes down to, one, some people are just naturally not as good at combos. But if you play a character that doesn't rely as much on combos, which would be like more of like a Zangief, yeah, Honda, Marissa, some characters have harder combos than others. So play a character that's kind of suited to you. And also, it just takes practice, right? The more you practice, the better you'll get. A lot of us have been playing Street Fighter, myself included, and other fighting games for years, right? So it's going to be a lot easier for me to pick it up than someone else. But again, it might be hard, but the important thing you have to ask yourself is, are you having fun? Do you enjoy the game? And if that's true, then it's just a matter of time before you will be able to execute what you need to execute. All right, a few other random questions I get. I'm new to Street Fighter. How should I improve? If I had to design the optimal training regimen for someone to play Street Fighter, it would be train consistently, right? Don't like just go on 12-hour days for a couple days in a row, get burnt out or get frustrated and then quit the game. That's not going to help anyone. I recommend like just playing an hour each day, right? Even myself, I have a full-time job. I can't play 10 hours a day, but what I make sure I do is I just play at least 1 hour a day, and I always learn something new each day to implement into my game plan, right? And if you stick with that, just make sure you play, make sure you go over your matches and look at interactions and see like, hey, I'm dropping this combo a lot. Maybe I should practice this combo, and figuring out where your biggest weaknesses are and then continually build off of that. It's all about consistency, just like any other skill you're trying to learn. The other thing is for like more experienced players, right? If you, let's say you're coming from Guilty Gear and now you're playing Street Fighter, you're gonna have an idea of what works for you and what doesn't, right? Some people learn faster grinding out ranks. Some people learn faster playing with friends. Some people learn faster just staying in the lab all the time. So you have that knowledge, use and apply that knowledge to Street Fighter and just treat it the same. You know what works best for you to improve, so do that. I also have some guides on my channel. There's some other guides on YouTube. So watch guides, especially if you're new. They'll help you out. The knowledge is power. So the more you know, better you'll be able to play. Last question I have, who's the best beginner character? Is this character good for me to play? I think the best beginner character is the one you like, the one that you'll have most fun with, because you learn faster and you're more likely to stick with the game. And no character in this game is prohibitively hard to play. So you might be able to like cheese some victories out easier with E Honda as opposed to Dhalsim. But in the long run, what your goal is to be a stronger player, and if that's the case, then play whoever you want. Should I play every character to pick a main? I think that's a great way to pick a main. That's what I did. First thing I got when the game, I played every character for 15-30 minutes, see how they felt. All right, any other questions, chat? What is a DP Dragon Punch? Oh, that's a very good question. What is a DP? There's probably a lot of jargon you guys will hear in streams or other YouTube videos. There's a really good site for this, glossary.info.net. So let's say I search DP, and DP knows Dragon Punch, a powerful rising uppercut attack that's great for anti-air, usually invincible. This is first seen with Ryuken Shoryuken. So especially if you're new to fighting games, there's a lot of terminology. It can be kind of confusing. This site's the GOAT. I guess I'll link it down in the description below. Hi, last fighting game I played is Tekken 3 on the PS2, but I always wanted to try. Oh, this is a perfect question, bro. I be getting this question all the time. Is it worth picking up Street Fighter 6? Bro, I can't answer that for you. Like, I don't know your financial situation. Some people can just, $60 is nothing for them. They can just buy the game if they don't like it after playing 30 minutes. It's like whatever to them, right? Some people, it's their time that's valuable, right? So I don't know how much you like fighting games, what your situation is. It's worth it for me. That's why I'm playing. That's why I'm making content. But you're not me. I really can't say. That's up for you. That's the decision you make. I like this game. I think it's good. I think it's one of the best fighting games I've played, just because the package is so complete. But I don't know if you'll like it. Let's be real. If you want like a cheap way to try out the game, you can refund on Steam for free for 2 hours. So try out the game, and if you don't like it, just refund it. Oh, that's a good question. Roland, I've lost 20 straight games after calibrating at bronze. How do you stay positive? There's an old saying in the FGC, you have to get washed to get clean, right? If you're new to fighting games, you're going to be doing a lot of losing. Like, let's be real, because a lot of people have been playing fighting games longer than you. So understand that, like, yes, you'll have to take some losses, but as long as you're learning from those losses, that's the most important part. And also try to play people around your skill level. This rank system's like broken, and sometimes it'll put people into like a higher rank than they should be. So if you get your rank and then you're losing all your matches, it's probably because they put you in the wrong rank, and try to find people around your skill level to play. Last question, Chun or Cammy's cheeks? Cammy for sure. I do stream it on Twitch, so consider checking me out there. Like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'm just gonna link this guy in Twitch, and then like if anyone asks a question, I'll just be like, check out this YouTube video. But I hope you guys find it useful too. Anyways, thanks for watching. Peace. I'll see you all next time.